Hello there, it's me Sari here again, and today I thought I'd talk a little bit about masking. Masking several items into a new complete scene with, let's say, 2 or 3 stamps or stamped images. But before I go there, I would like to share with you my source for inspiration. One of the girls of the design team at Vilda Stamps has made this. And Vilda Stamps then laminated it on a A3 sized piece of paper. Just imagine having done all of these things, stamp them, die cut them, or not perhaps die cut them, but cut them into pieces, and then just stamped and created something. I mean, all of these images are really hand stamped. She's a marvel, this Christina Hagström. She's amazing, I must say. Very, very talented. So she is my main source for inspiration when it comes to masking. So I'm not there yet, I'm telling you, not by a long shot. But I still want to keep on trying and want to develop my skills. This is something that I did just the other night. I started out buying this beautiful rabbit stamp from Nellie's Design. It's a really cute little rabbit. And just after a while I decided I should go for the kitten as well. It's a small little cat and she's absolutely famished or fatigued, lying in the forest with her newfound friend. So suddenly this is a girl cat for me. Isn't that strange? Whilst this one is a boy. I'm crazy, I am. And when I saw these beautiful stamps from Sheena Douglass by Crafter's Companion, and I saw the mushrooms and I saw the house and everything, and I am still in that masking mode, you see. I just felt like I had to get them. And the mushrooms are a little bit bigger. They are this big in real life, so the thing you see here is a little bit diminished. So when I had those 3 things in my order basket at Scrapbook, I just felt like I had to get my hands on them and I had to get started. I wanted to get started masking. So this is sort of where my skills go. I'll be coming back to that later. I'll just be showing you other things that I have tried and perhaps errored in, but I still have gone ahead and tried some more. This is a stamp, or this is a scene that I made with the beautiful little guy from the greeting farm. This is Oliver, and I'm not sure, I can't remember the set's name. Amelia and Oliver are in the same set with a sort of nautical theme. And these 2 stamps. This is one stamp here and the other one is back there. They're also from the Sheena Douglass series from Crafter's Companion. And I sort of wanted to make them work when I saw this beautiful Oliver guy in my stamp stash. I put on some seagulls there as well, just to sort of tie up the nautical theme. So when it comes to this, I had to try it several times on just a regular printing paper, just to see where everything would end up. I'm not really sure if you can see the scene as I intend it to be. Please let me know what you think of it. Is there something I should have thought about or something? But I sort of liked the outcome, but I just want to know how you read this picture. And, well, let me see. I mean, I have done some trial and error stamping with Tim Holtz's stamps, for example. These are the Fresh Brew blueprint stamps, and sometimes I succeed and sometimes I don't. I have shown you a card where I sort of have succeeded thinking about all the details. In this case, I forgot to take away the line there. And this one also sort of collides with that other one. I mean, these are from 2 different stamp sets that I have sort of combined. Here is something that isn't perfectly matched. So there is a lot of trial and error you have to do before you can sort of master or at least achieve something. And having seen that Tim Holtz is going to release some add-on things for those bird crazy stamps, I felt like using some of the hat stamps that I have from Inka Dinka Doo. It's a small set of stamps with 4 different kinds of hats. And as you can see, I mean, already when I put this one there, I realized it's not going to work because the hat needs to go further down because the brim is too wide for this narrow sort of head. Were I to put it further down, I mean, I would be covering the eyes, wouldn't I? So perhaps that could work, but I'm sort of afraid of covering the eyes, so that sort of hinders me in this process now, doesn't it? The placement of the masked image is also important to think about. I mean, these aren't perfect at all. I mean, this one I could perhaps consider myself be happy with, and with the brick wall in the background and everything. These are just trial and error things, mind you. And I have gone on further with a tilted hat. Perhaps that would be better, I'm not sure. And you have to really need to find a proper sort of hat for the character. I mean, this one doesn't look right now either, does it? So I'm thinking perhaps the top hat is the best one for this character, and this character alone. It could work standing up or on a tilted, sloping thing there. Then I found a big set of headphones. Are they headphones? Could be. And I was thinking that, oh, what could it be like if I could put that on his head? Well, they are too big because there is not enough head to go up there. And then I found this little bugger in my stamp stash, and it sort of works, but still not completely. So I'm not really happy with that one either. Here is an example of where I tried to make it work sometimes. I mean, you might have to struggle. I mean, the more papers or masked papers you lay on top of each other, the more of a risk there is of getting a sort of a halo around the figure. And that is something you need to bear in mind. So you need to put extra pressure and everything. I also tried making it work with a sort of nature scene. This set first with the beautiful trees and everything, and then I try to make it work with a sort of a hilly thing in the background, but I sort of don't get that to work, so I need to practice more. And let's see, then I continued working today, this morning. There is something else I could show you. I tried something else with the kitten and the rabbit. I put a fence. This is also something from The Crafter's Companion by Sheena Douglass. I put some straws in the background and I die cut this fence as a mask as well, so I was free to stamp something in the background. The darker black flowers could work better, but this one, I stamped it off once because I didn't want it to be too harsh. But now that I see it in this way, I don't like it that much. And then I'm thinking, what's the point in having a fence behind these two and then the flowers in the background? I can't really say that I'm pleased with that one either. And this is the first attempt, and somehow I managed to squeeze the ink really hard and it made it sort of murky. And in this case I had just a lot of flowers and everything in the background. And then I gave it another shot with some trees in the background, but since I had that fence mask there, I didn't manage to stamp there, and that sort of bugs me, and I can't make it work now, can I? And then I tried it once more. You see, I'm nothing but patient here. I'm trying to make it work really. And before I started coloring this one up, I mean, it sort of felt all right with these stamps, with these flowers, which I stamped 3 times, and then I stamped them in 2 other colors as well. And then I used some other small stamps just to create some depth to it. But I think that the coloring is a mishap. I don't like the way I colored the background. And, the figures themselves are all right, I suppose, but the background is a total no-no. Then I tried the new flowers from Tim Holtz. I stamped them, but I find that the stems are really harsh. And I tried to stamp them off once, but they still don't work. I mean, I just don't understand why the lines are so harsh. Here I tried some liquid rubber cement, and I wanted to just put with a paintbrush. I glued it there, and then after this dried, I stamped the stem because I wanted it to go in the back behind it. And you should be aware that if your ink hasn't dried up, it will definitely smudge, especially if you are using a VersaFine, because that one takes a lot of time to dry. And then I gave it another shot, and you can see that I didn't even think about masking that one. There's a cross there. And I did try to do some clean and simple watercoloring. I'm not happy with that one either. And here's another disaster. I don't mind showing it to you. I started coloring this lighthouse, I think it's called. And then all of a sudden I felt like there was too much color here. So I used a baby wipe or something. I was really wet. And I had used it before to dry off some color. So the color from the wipe, the baby wipe, ended up there, and I was just about to quit. But somebody said, oh, it's going to be clouds, you could try it out. So I continued coloring this one up. And the seagull is too grey, so I'm not happy with this one at all. But sometimes you need to do a couple of error practice moments. Then I went ahead this morning. I wanted to make this bird look like he's going on a vacation. So I wanted to make it work with some suitcases. These are from, could it be Stampenders? And then the bird, of course, is from Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous. And I left the masks on when I put the background text stamp there. And I then realized that I intended to use an orange script or orange stamp, but I forgot about myself here. So while the masks were on, I decided on doing some splotches with the spiced marmalade stain from the Distress series. So this is a way of actually making it pop a little bit more. But here we are, and in this case I didn't mask these two, but I masked the two with the background. So there are some examples of what I have tried to make work after that, but let's get on with what I intended to start off with. What you need to think about when you are doing some masking is that you have to think about which figure do you want to be in the front. So that is the figure you want to start off with. And let's see. I want to get my mask and everything in order. So I'm just going to use my VersaFine, ink up the cat. And I suppose that depending on the paper, the outcome of the stamped image might vary. So you might have to pay attention to what kind of a paper you're using. In this case, I'm using a watercolor paper from Canson, Montful, it's called, 200 grams. And the kitten looks all right now, doesn't it? And why I'm pointing out the fact that there might be a difference in the strength of the color. I mean, when I stamped this, I didn't see any faults with this one. But having taken a picture of it, posted it on Facebook, then I started seeing lots of mistakes. I saw that the rabbit was sort of in a paler inked version there. And then I started seeing lots of this halo effect around the rabbit. So that is something I want to pay attention to now that I'm stamping in this one. So I'm putting my mask. I mean, beforehand I have used the leftover ink to stamp the image a second time, and then I have cut it out. And I haven't cut all of the small hairs. I'm just leaving it outside like so, and then I'm placing it there. I have sprayed with some remount spray, sort of like a post-it note spray, just to make it stick temporarily, because then I can take it away if I want to, and I will want to do that. So the next step is to use this rabbit stamp. And this rabbit, I mean, I'm in love with him. Him, you hear me? I mean, this is definitely a him. So I'm just going to place him a little bit on top of the stamped image there. But since I have the mask, this one will be coming in the... It will look like it's behind the cat, because the paw needs to be in the front. I did try the other way and it didn't look good at all. So I'm just going to place him there, give it a, you know, just a normal pressure thing, and it looks all right. If you would like to, you could of course lift it up just to see, are they sort of similar in strength ink-wise. So now that one is there, I need to think about, not forget about the mask for the rabbit. Or, yeah, it's a rabbit. In my book, this one looks like a hare. Hare. It's a difficult word to pronounce and make people understand, so I'm not talking about my hair on my head. Well, so now I'm going to move on to the mushroom stamp, and I mean, this one is perfect in size, because I did want to make that sort of a cozy foresty look. So the first thing I did was I stamped this image, and I started stamping just on top of both of these. And now, since I do have two pieces of paper, I need to think about little, you know, and since I do have the masks here, I could actually benefit from the fact that I could put these mushrooms just a little bit higher than I would be putting the other ones, because they will be forming a base and a foundation or a ground for me. So in this case, I'm just going to say, I don't want that halo around it, so I'm just going to give it some extra pressure, especially where those masked images are. So far it looks good. You know, it looks rather alright. So as long as I have my masks on, I can do almost anything with these. So now I have to remind myself of using the mask for those mushrooms, because if I don't use them, well, I'm lost. And of course, well, you have to bear with me, this one didn't stamp out perfectly, but just for demonstrative purposes, I will not be bothered by it at all. Embrace your imperfections. And the thing that I see now here is that I have cut away too much of the rabbit, really. He's missing a paw, so I might actually get rid of him just to see if this one is better. And if the remount glue sort of tends to fade out or wear out, you could always spray these once again. So that one is better. And then I'm going to put that mask on top once more. So even if you have a mask that isn't sticking too well, you might use the third mask as a helping supportive thing there. It sort of looks all right. So now I'm free to actually put the mushrooms on two sides, because now, let's see. And now I'm talking about the fact that I want these to be in a line down here. And since I know that there is a bit of grass and everything, I'm just going to put it there. So there's going to... Bloody hell, it moved and shifted. Let me have a fan. I believe it's the ear of the hair or the rabbit that is giving me a hard time there now. And I'm giving some extra pressure here, making sure sort of looks all right. And I'm going to go to the other side as well. And in my mind, I'm trying to leave a sort of a white frame around. And I don't want the mushrooms to go all the way outside everything. So I'm just going to put that mushroom, and it's going to fall a little bit lower than the other one. And I'm just going to put it there because it seems like it's the right thing to do. And I have to think about that. I'm getting the impression really good. So, cross your fingers. Ta-da! So this is it. I love masking. I mean, now that I have sort of grasped how to do this, I mean, I have actually tried and errored many years, but finally it seems like I'm in the right flow and I'm starting to get the hang of it. If I would like to do something else, I would absolutely have to do masks for all of the mushroom sets here, if I were to want to have a tree or something else deeper there, but I'm thinking that this is all right. So when I have tried, as I showed you before, when you are trying to make too many things work in the same kind of in the same kind of scene, you might have to struggle quite a bit. So practice, 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 and don't give up. Never, never, never give up. Just practice and try with some different stamps. I mean, just look at these. These aren't perfect at all. But just try to see what you could try and mask together. And you know, I did make another video before where I used text in the background, and I created my own sort of text background. And that is a fun technique as well, so don't forget about that. Just using text stamps, but you need to make some masks for them as well. So anything you are going to stamp over, you do need a mask for it. So I hope this will set you going, and perhaps even start buying some new stamps that you can combine with your own old stamps. Aren't I clever now, am I? So here we are with the kitten and the rabbit and a lot of mushrooms. I love it. Thank you. Hope to see you soon again. Bye-bye.